What's up, guys? So today I'm going to talk about one of the blasters I got in a recent haul from going to Goodwill, and that is the Busby / Air Warriors Dwight's Crossbow, The Walking Dead branded series of blasters. There's a handful of blasters in this series which correlate with the Walking Dead series. I think you guys might have heard of it. So there's a vaguely M16 looking one that's a single prime blaster. There's this one. There's, I think, a revolver based one. And to be honest, I don't know what the rest of them are. I haven't really cared too much of the series, The Walking Dead as a series, and then also The Walking Dead as a blaster series. But since this was at Goodwill, naturally I had to pick it up. What it is a, if I'm correct, a bungee fired blaster. So as opposed to locking back in a spring and then shooting, this actually gives the illusion that it is the string that is doing this. So that being said, I can't recommend snipping this or getting rid of the arms, because I can't guarantee that it doesn't use that until I take it down. So there, keep that in mind. But what that does is the string, there's a little bolt sled back here that could also have nothing to do with the blaster, but again, not risking it. And when you fire, the string stops. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking, I don't know. But, so it is magazine fed. You might be wondering where the magazine is, and didn't come with it at Goodwill. But if you prime it back, you can load in a Nerf magazine, because luckily, most, if not any blaster that's kind of worth the darn at this point is Nerf compatible at the very least, because that's only good for the consumer. But yeah, it's a single fire, single prime blaster, and it's a lot of fun, actually. It is not in-strike compatible in the least bit, so, I mean, it's because it's not Nerf brand, obviously, but, you know, there's nothing for the barrel. There is a rail on top. It is compatible with Busby accessories, so I don't have any of those, so I can't show you, but it is not compatible with Nerf. I have tried that, and it does not work. And stock point, it has a stock, not a very large one. We'll get on to that in a bit. But so there's no stock lug, so you can't put any Nerf stocks on that either. So we'll the magazine release is ambidextrous. It's right here on the bottom of the blaster. You just push up on it, and it's pretty easy to do. I do like where the way the magazine well is. It's pretty short, shallow, so that if you really, like, say for instance, if I didn't own a Nerf magazine in whatever weird universe that is, it's actually pretty easy to just, like, since it's a really shallow one, just load it directly into the chamber and fire it. That's just kind of a detail that I like, that, you know, may not be to your interests, but it's definitely in mine. But we're going to go ahead and take it to the range, and then we'll talk more about, I guess, the construction of it. We got the, let's see, which one is this? This one came from my modulus. It's a little large, so we'll see how it works, because since there's not a whole lot of, like, mounting lugs or, like, physical grip, maybe these bigger magazines might, the gravity might actually affect our feeding, but we'll see that in a moment. I'm going to test this next one. Well, hold on. Let's see if I even have a dart. I do. I'm going to test to see if it says slam fire. No, definitely not. Turns out the crossbow is not meant for high rate of fire. I think this white mag's kind of cool with it, but just due to the paint. But the orange does match just because of the accents. I don't have these magazines all the way full, so, you know, that's why I'm kind of blowing through them. And, of course, we got to test it with a Stampede mag, which I think that kind of makes for a silly-looking crossbow, and it also wobbles. I'm pulling, and despite everything, despite being a shallow magazine, well, magazine holds pretty true. Alright, so we are now through that. Do I think it's an interesting blaster? Yeah, kind of. I do like bow blasters. Now, since this is magazine fed, I don't know if it technically counts as that. But it is a cool blaster. I'm pretty glad to pick it up, actually. I don't know if I'll keep it, but it's definitely neat to have and play with and make a video about, obviously. Also, I found out that if you just sit here and you can lock that back and then depress it with a trigger. So again, I'm not too certain exactly if this is actually spring primed and this is just cosmetic, But even if you took off the bolt arms and the string, now you just have basically a retaliator that is less compatible with things and has a more awkward priming handle. You might have noticed there while I was priming it that I'm having like a weird like how do I hold it? Like, it would be easier to do something like that, but if it was a full-on slide, because I just did it, but it wasn't easy. You might have saw me struggle. But yeah, so again, I don't know if cutting the string is any good. So we'll go to the stock now. It's pretty short. It's nigh unusable, like you may have noticed I didn't. I am 5'8", and I have kind of small hands compared to most men, but even this Maverick style grip is still pretty small for me. This little notch right here in particular is kind of where the hang up is, because like while I'm trying to fit my webbing of my hand in here, it's jamming against the palm, and it's not a super comfortable grip. Like, am I still able to do it? Like, I'm still able to wrap my fingers where the designated grooves are, but there's also some grooves up front. I don't know if y'all may have seen it, but again, you're kind of way up here and then the magazine gets in the way. But regardless, like, this almost would have been easier if, like, slice and then nothing from the rear. So the more famous of the how bad is a stock scale is that the Nerf Retaliator, yeah, the Nerf Retaliator has really short stock, but I don't have one of those stocks. So the shortest one I have is this one, and it's the Recon Mark II stock. And you know, we obviously can't say exactly where a lug would be on this, but let's just say it's this flat bit right here. You know, even it's longer, and I don't put this on anything because it's pretty short. I have no real problem like tucking in my arm real tight like a chicken wing and shooting, because it's kind of how we're trained technically, but it's like I'm still raising my shoulder up, and that's a lot of unnecessary strain on like your shooting position. Ideally, you want to be comfortable when you're doing that, and I can't say that shouldering this is the most comfortable experience. The closest things I can really compare it to are other Busby style blasters, in which the Ultratech Predator right here, which is not only a, like, I guess this is just the brand's deal here, is just to make very uncomfortable stocks, thumb hole and then also short. So, you know, obviously, like with the raised sight here and it lowered down here, it is easier that I can at least look down the barrel and get like a general idea on where the sights might be. That's the same case with this one too, because it's a little bit lower and I can at least get my eye down and pretend that there are sights on it. I also have the Rapid Fire Tech, which I've reviewed. It's a lot of barrel, but not a lot of stock. But even then, like, that's still not a very, that's very uncomfortable, to be honest. But if you notice, all of these are rifle-style grips as opposed to pistol-style grips. So it's a little bit tougher to judge them on that. That being said, would I recommend picking this up secondhand? Yes, these are actually relatively new blasters. I think they came out last year or the year before. Still, like, and again, Nerf compatible, and they're unique enough to where, like, if you're just the type of person who does not mind, like, DPS or whatever, like, it's still usable enough and it's compatible with all of your current gear, most likely your current gear, and, like, it's fun. I'll give it that. Is it my least favorite blaster? Definitely not. Is it one that I would recommend picking up retail? Well, I didn't, so obviously I can't really say anything on that one. But that, I do believe, concludes my review on the Walking Dead Dwight's Crossbow. It is possessive in the name. Go figure. So I guess now this one's Cole's Crossbow. Yay. But if you like what I'm doing here, please like and subscribe. If, let's see. Yeah, if you like what I'm doing here, please like and subscribe. My brother and I have a podcast. We just got accepted on Spotify as of last night. I'm super excited about it. We were wanting to get on it for a little while, so now we are on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Play. I will also leave a direct link to our page in the description below. If you want to follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, or Twitter, I will put that also in the description down below. Let's see. Our podcast is called Catch Up with Crab Legs. We are Googleable now, which is really cool. So if you want to look us up through that, there we go. Now, that being said, I also have an Etsy page. I've talked recently in the past about some paintings that I made. You can see 2 of them right here. If you like them and want to check them out, I do have a few of them up at the moment, and the page is called Lasset Art Studios. I will put a link to that in the description as well. And let's see. Yeah, normally I have more plugs, but I think this might be it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya!